I'm a firm believer that an organized classroom leads to a less stressed out teacher. It's always worked for me, and today I hope that I can help it work for you with 5 classroom management systems that you can put in place before the first day of school. Hi friends, and welcome. My name's Kim, and I love to help teachers survive high school. I'm a science teacher, but today's video really applies to any middle or high school teacher in any content area. This is part 3 of our Organizing for the First Day of School series. And today we're going to talk about classroom systems. I find it really helpful to have classroom systems in place. It makes things very predictable for the students. It makes things look really good if you have administrators come in for an announced or unannounced observation. And it helps me be able to predict the day-to-day. And I like to know what's happening and what's going on. So let's talk about 5 different classroom systems that I have put in place that have helped me. So the first system I have in place is a supply space in my classroom. My supply space is just a cart, really simple. And on that cart, I have a stapler, I have extra paper, I have reference sheets that students continually lose and I continually print out, but it's just way easier for me to have them there so they can access them. And pretty much anything else that they might need. Tape is a big one. I have no idea why high school students use so much tape. I think I've maybe used my tape dispenser twice in the last 5 years, but they use so much tape. It's, I'm sure, top secret, whatever they're doing, because I don't know why they use so much tape. I really like having that supply space. I don't make students ask me to use it. They can just access it whenever they want, and it just ensures everybody has what they need. Be really careful about putting pens or pencils in your supply space because that is a slippery slope to bankruptcy. You will go through pens or pencils if you just leave them out for students to grab because they're not going to give them back. So if you want to do that, that's fine. I tend not to. I keep pens and pencils in my desk for the students who really need it. You can put out pens or pencils that have been modified somehow, maybe with a plastic flower taped to the top or just plastic utensils taped to the top. I've seen all of this that teachers have done, and students really don't want to take that with them, so they will give it back at the end of class. The second system that I have in place is for handouts. So I do not like passing out papers during class. I feel like it's a waste of time, and I feel like it opens the students up to a few seconds of downtime where they can start all kinds of conversations, and they do. So I like to avoid that. I have a space that students can pick up any handouts on the way in so that I don't have to waste the time handing them out. And students get into the routine pretty quickly. They will grab their handouts before they sit down, and it just has worked out really well for me. And the third system is a makeup work bin. So makeup work can become really daunting, but what I have found really helps is to have a book bin or a magazine bin. They're just like a really simple upright bin. You can get them at the dollar store really cheap. And I put some file folders in there with each class's name. And if a student's absent, then I am going to write the student's name on the assignment for the day, and I'm going to place it in the folder that has their class name on it, and they can grab it when they come back to school. If you're using Google Classroom, I like to use the private comments feature in Google Classroom, and I will tell the student, hey, here's the assignment for today, and I know you're absent, so the new due date for this is such and such. And that's another thing, you should really be clear with due dates for makeup work. Otherwise, you will be getting it about 5 seconds before report card grades are due, and that's no good for anybody. So make sure you right up front tell your students how much time they have to do the makeup work. I usually give my students 2 weeks. I know some teachers give their students 1 week, and it really just depends. The fourth system I have in place, and this is something that I have experimented with in the past, but it is now going to be mandated in my school for this year, is a cell phone station. Yay! Hopefully it will go well. My school purchased cell phone lockers for all the classrooms, and this is a big metal box with a glass door and foam slots inside so that the students can walk in, place their phones in there right away, and the phones will stay in the cell phone locker until the end of class. So we're going to see how that works. Hopefully it works well. It definitely will help to reduce distractions in the room.
Yes! Yes!
In the past, I have used over the door shoe hangers as slots to hold cell phones, and I have placed charging stations near those shoe racks so that students are a little bit more open to placing their phone in there. I have placed tape across the top of the desks, leaving, just a couple of inches of space. And I've told students those are the phone zones, and they've had to place their phone upside down in that space that's created with the tape at the top of their desk. I've tried all kinds of things, so really it just depends on what works for you. And then my last system in the classroom is an agenda board. So I have 2 whiteboards at the front of my room. I use one of them as an agenda board. I have taken electrical tape and I have used the tape to divide up my board into 2 sections because I teach 2 different classes. I teach chemistry and I teach AP Bio. And so I have the tape dividing the board into 2 sections so that it's clear, it's neat, it's organized. I have poster letters that I purchased just from the dollar store, and I have chemistry spelled out at the top of one of those sections, and I have AP Bio spelled out in the other section. And underneath it, I'll just use, plain old dry erase markers, and I will write the objective of the day, the agenda of the day with the work we're going to complete, and then the homework that's required at night. If you are doing any sort of long-term projects, you might want to include due dates for those. It really just depends on how you run your room and what your school wants you to include on the board. And so those are my 5 systems. I have a space for supplies. I have handouts in a particular location for the students. I have a place for makeup work that students who are absent can easily grab their makeup work. I have a cell phone station, and I have an agenda board. And having those systems in place really makes things run super smoothly in my class. So I hope that you have found some inspiration in today's video. I hope that maybe you've learned something that you might want to try and might be helpful to you. Check out the playlist that I am going to put in the description below, and you can check out parts 1 and 2 of our Organizing for the First Day of School series. And I hope to see you back soon. Come back to chat. I'll talk to you later. Bye.